Hi there, everyone. I'm Charlene Shirk, your host of Digital Champions. Thank you so much for joining us today, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining us today from Worcester, Massachusetts, it's Michael Polumbo with Votary Films. Michael, thanks so much for joining us today on Digital Champions.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, Votary Films, I assume you're making films, but talk to us how you make films within this digital space of marketing.
Yeah, well, so we're called Votary Films, but we mostly make short films like brand stories and documentary spots and some scripted ads for companies. But we have been investing in our own kind of passion projects as well. So the goal and the dream is to make feature films and scripted series, and also make brand content that's brand entertainment. So sponsored content that isn't necessarily overtly selling a product, but telling stories that brands want to get behind, which is something that we're developing now. So
everybody wants to know kind of what makes a company tick these days. What's the company culture? What's the company values? Not just what's your product.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about that problem that you are solving for your customers by utilizing this type of format and storytelling.
Yeah, so we try to get to know who a brand is, which just means their leaders, the people who are in the company already, the type of values they already have. So we're not really looking to project some sort of marketing trendy lingo onto their company to make them, stand out more. We just want to shine a light on the stories and the people and the things that are already happening, and then put that out there. So we spend some time just getting to know people and get to know the people who are already sort of living out maybe the brand values, or maybe it's customer testimonials or something that we can shine a light on that. And then we really want to find the story structure ahead of time, and then tell that story in a way that's obviously entertaining and interesting and beautiful. And so that's our, I guess, what we do in a nutshell.
Well, what's the biggest challenge you have in doing that, though, as well?
The biggest challenge is that corporations don't want to talk about conflict or challenges. They want to talk about victories, and they want to seem relevant and cool. And they want to connect with people, and they want to grow, but they don't necessarily see the value in telling a story that has hardship, or that might make them look like they don't have everything together. But that's what makes a story interesting. You don't watch a movie where somebody is just crushing it the whole time and there's no obstacle. You don't read a book that has no conflict in it, because you'll put it down. You won't. It's not really a story. So you have to in order to have the resolve and the to really kind of have anything be emotionally engaging, you have to have some sort of hardship. But that's really tricky in like corporations and different brands. So that's the biggest challenge, I think, is convincing people that no, this is the way that you actually get people to be emotionally engaged, and to have a call to action, and to get involved and be inspired, or all these kind of buzzwords that they want. That's been a challenge sometimes, for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what makes people relatable, or companies relatable, is when people say, oh, they went through hardship, they failed, and then they picked themselves up and they succeeded, and then it makes you root for the company, cheer for them, and then you're invested in them. Oh, I feel your pain on that one. So talk to me a little bit about what is the biggest obstacle that maybe a marketer in your space, in this video telling space, has to overcome in order to be successful. You've got to overcome that type of pushback. You've got to be able to tell a good story, and you've got to find the right place to tell that story and the right audience. So what are some of the things you've got to overcome in order to be successful at what you're doing?
I think for us, it's like our own brand identity is a struggle. There's plenty of video companies out there that are making really good work, and their marketing really just kind of stands on its own, as look how sexy this video is, and for us, that is cool. And we've done that, and we do good work, and we put it out there, and but it, for us as individuals, and I think as a brand, we talk about telling meaningful stories, and then realizing that that might not even be specific enough, right? Like to try to create content and to tell stories that really we believe in, that are having a positive ripple effect, is what is going to, I think, sustain us as individuals and be more fulfilling. And we've just been creating all kinds of content for years that doesn't, it doesn't necessarily satisfy that all the time. And so having the balance of who are we and who are we actually going after, and how do we get to the point where we're actually turning away work because we're so hyper focused on telling the stories that are really meaningful to us as a brand. That's a huge challenge that we've been chiseling away at, I would say, for like a few years now. Even though we've been around since '07, it's just it's something that's ever evolving. So how do we have a brand message that's speaking to a specific person when we haven't gotten our own shit together and our own identity, right? So,
you know what you just said was very relatable. You just did what you want your companies to do. I think that was a great answer, very sincere. Well, Michael, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today on Digital Champions.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure. If you'd like to learn more about what they're doing over there at Votary Films and how they're overcoming their challenges to be more successful, you can check them out first by going to dailyadbrief.com. Well, I'm Charlene Shirk. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Digital Champions, and we look forward to learning something new with you next time.